Why should you learn a second language? What are the benefits to even being bilingual anyway? And how and where exactly is it going to help you? The answer is in every single aspect of your life. Let's talk about that. What's up, you guys? It's Cole here. I'm wearing the same shirt that I wore in Wednesday's video, but don't worry about that. After studying languages for several years, I've noticed so many benefits and changes that have been made in all aspects of my life. And today, I just wanted to share with you guys just a few of them. There's a lot to cover here, so let's get right into it. The first thing is learning a language is fantastic for your brain. Learning a language has a direct positive impact on things like your ability to multitask or make decisions. And it even helps to improve things like problem solving, your creativity in general, and even your memory. It also slows down the aging process of your brain. Or rather, it slows the effects of old age. It delays the onset of things by dementia and Alzheimer's by as many as 5 to 8 years, allowing you to live a longer and more fulfilling life. It also, whether you like it or not, immerses you in another culture. And this in itself will expose you to different perspectives, customs, and ideas. Not to mention this entire new population of people that you will now be able to interact with if you learn their language. And that doesn't just go for the people, but also for their history, their literature, their arts, and everything else that has to do with society. It'll also make travel easier, cheaper, and more fulfilling. Because if we are fortunate enough to be able to travel to other countries, then we'll usually end up spending a little bit more money on things like guided tours or anything else that'll help us get around, especially if we're not familiar with the local language. So by learning the local language, you are eliminating all of that and you'll be able to explore and understand the country like a local would. You'll be able to connect with people from all over and go off the beaten path, which you can definitely take my word for it, is the best way to go. Now, I don't usually mention things that have anything to do with money when I'm talking about languages, but I would be absolutely remiss if I didn't mention that learning a language will make you way more competitive in the job market. Because as the world becomes more globalized and interconnected, there will always be a rising demand for people that speak multiple languages. And nowadays, in 2020, with the majority of the world's population speaking at least one other language, it will simply be one thing against you when it comes to applying for jobs. Are you guys ready? Because I'm about to debunk a huge myth. Learning a language is not a huge time commitment. You don't have to study 1, 2, 3, 4 hours a day to see results. You can take it at your own pace and do things that you like to learn the language with as little as 5 to 10 minutes a day. Sure, you'll progress faster if you spend more time on it, but the language will always be there when you want to study it. They're incredibly loyal in that regard. Everyone has 10 minutes a day to learn something that will change their life forever. So if you're getting all worked up thinking about all the time that you will be spending learning new language, think again, because it's not really that much. It allegedly makes you more attractive. A survey done by Rocket Languages showed that 79% of participants thought that someone who spoke a second language was more attractive than someone who didn't. And also 77% of them said that they perceive bilinguals to be more intelligent. So, if you already know a second, third, or whatever language, take that as you will. Learning a language will also improve your social life. Not that you're awkward or anything, or if you are, that's necessarily a bad thing, because it's not, we're all different. But no matter who it is, the person you're talking to will immediately open up when you start speaking their native language. Because we have all these memories and positive emotions that we associate with our own language, so when someone brings it up in an everyday conversation when it's not expected, that can leave a lasting impact on that person's perception of you and lead to a lot of really great friendships. I can't even tell you how many friends I've made after just saying a couple words in their native language after I recognized their accent. Now for one of my favorites. You can understand, or eavesdrop, on conversations in other languages. I've talked about this in other videos, but essentially I've been in a lot of situations where one or a group of people have spoken a language in front of me that they didn't think I would understand. And I've been on the receiving end of both really positive remarks and more negative ones. But that's okay, because either way, in this case, you'll be able to either snap back or meet someone, learn something new, or maybe even make a new friend. Who knows? Now, even though over half of all the content on the internet is in English at this point, there are some absolute gems in other languages. Even right here on YouTube. There are tons of absolutely amazing and incredibly inspiring people on YouTube that speak other languages. So just think about all the stuff that you'll be able to discover on the internet once you learn a new language. Alright, now I got one that I bet you never heard before. Scientific research has been done to suggest that bilingual people literally see the world differently. Like with your eyes. This research has conclusively shown that people who regularly speak a second language perceive differences in color variations that monolinguals simply do not. How's that for getting your mind blown? Now, I don't know exactly how big of an advantage this is, admittedly, but if you had the option of seeing more colors or not, why would you ever say no? Now you can finally be more helpful in talking about interior decorating with your girlfriend or wife or whatever. Blue is blue! This next one is also very important. Learning a language teaches you that it's okay to make mistakes and allows you to more easily develop a growth mindset. No matter which country you grow up in, unless maybe you're Finnish, you will experience an educational system that punishes you for making mistakes. And this isn't to bash on the educational system at all. Of course, it's very, very difficult to think of an alternate way. But bottom line, as we're growing up, we learn that mistakes, bad. And that's it. Which in a way can impede our ability to learn foreign languages in the first place, because in order to learn it really well, you have to be willing to make a ton of mistakes. And that's absolutely okay. We all make mistakes, and they're so beneficial because we learn so much from them. And this goes hand in hand with a growth mindset, which pretty much means that you always recognize that you can improve as a person. And you're not just fixed and static in some way. You can always improve and keep going. The people we perceive to be the most successful in the world all have growth mindsets. Because the very first thing that you need to do to get into a position like that is to believe in yourself. And people who don't have growth mindsets simply don't do that. So now I'm sure you can see why developing this is a great byproduct of learning other languages that you can apply in other aspects of your life as well. Another thing is you don't know what you don't know. At the end of the day, learning a language is a very personal journey and you won't know what's on the other side unless you go through the process. But I can absolutely promise you that it will be incredibly, incredibly beneficial, rewarding, and fulfilling. And also, it's really fun. And by taking the time to learn someone else's languages, you're simultaneously creating mutual understanding between cultures. And while this may seem somewhat significant, you are literally contributing to world peace. Just think about that for a moment and how profound that is. And lastly, if nothing else, learning languages gives you options. You're not just learning new words or new sounds. You're embarking on a very special journey that will not only benefit you in all aspects of your life, but also everyone that you come in contact with as well. You will be a much better person for going through it, and I don't think I've ever met anyone who has regretted learning a language or thought of it as a waste of time. Because honestly, it's one of the greatest things that I've ever done in my life. And the people have motivated me time and time again to keep learning more of them. And without those people, I wouldn't be here sitting behind my camera making YouTube videos for you guys. It's just really funny how life turns out and you never know what it's going to be until you go out there and do something. Of course, I have so many more reasons for why you should learn a language, but I think you get the point. And if you're not convinced by everything that I've said here and you're still on the fence of whether you want to go and learn a new language, let me know what you're thinking about in the comments. I will be more than happy to put aside any doubts you may have about the process itself, because I know how scary it can be and how intimidating it can be to try to learn an entire language when you've never ever done that before. If you're really, really cool, you may want to check out one or two more of my videos here. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this was interesting and maybe even inspired you to go learn a language or continue where you left off. I hope you all have a fantastic day and peace.